morning. Welcome to Advisory. This week's theme again is mindsets. We're going to talk a little bit more about the negative thinking that can contribute to a negative mindset, a fixed mindset. So how do I identify negative thinking? There are several categories that they can fall under. You might relate to some of these. I know that I definitely do. I do some of these all the time. So filtering is when you magnify the negative aspects of a situation and filter out all of the positive ones. So for example, say you had a lovely day at school, everything went well, you were looking good, you completed all of your work and you caught up on some of your assignments, and you were even complimented by a teacher saying how great of a job you were doing. But then when you get home, all you could focus on is planning to do more tasks, right? To do more things. What else do I got to do? What else do I got to do? And you completely forget all about the compliment. You forgot about all the good things that happened in the day because all you're focusing on is the negative aspect of your day. Personalizing is when something bad happens, then you automatically blame yourself. So let's say, for example, you hear that an evening out, like your friends are all going to go hang out, everyone's excited, and then all of a sudden it's canceled. And then you think to yourself, oh no, it must be because nobody wants to hang out with me. Okay, that's personalizing. That's when we make it about us and we don't know the whole context. We just assume that it's about that we're the problem, that we're the reason why things were canceled. Catastrophizing. So this means you automatically anticipate the worst, right? So say you miss the bus in the morning and you're like, oh, here we go. It's going to be a bad day, right? You just think the rest of the day is going to also be bad because you had a bad experience early in the morning. Okay. Polarizing means you only see things as either good or bad. You don't see a middle ground. It's either I'm perfect and everything's amazing and I do everything right, or I'm a total failure and no one wants to be around me. Okay, so it's like very extremes, right? Like one, everything's great, and on the other end, I'm a failure. There's nothing in between. Okay, we all have faults. We all have things we need to work through. That is a part of being human. Okay, so these are all things that people tend to do. You might resonate with some of these. And this is the negative thinking that I was talking about. So we hear things externally from other people. Sometimes we believe those things. We tell those things to ourselves as well. But then we also do these things. We personalize, we catastrophize, we polarize, right? This contributes to this negative mindset, right? So if we're thinking badly about ourselves and how people see us, then it's going to cause more anxiety, which I talked about yesterday. Okay. So combating the negative thoughts with positive thoughts will help you for day to day, right? You're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to have more confidence, higher self-esteem. Okay. So we're going to watch a quick video that's going to talk a little bit about the growth mindset.
The power of yet. I heard about a high school in Chicago where students had to pass a certain number of courses to graduate, and if they didn't pass a course, they got the grade not yet. And I thought that was fantastic, because if you get a failing grade, you think, I'm nothing, I'm nowhere. But if you get the grade not yet, you understand that you're on a learning curve. It gives you a path into the future. Not yet also gave me insight into a critical event early in my career, a real turning point. I wanted to see how children coped with challenge and difficulty. So I gave 10-year-olds problems that were slightly too hard for them. Some of them reacted in a shockingly positive way. They said things like, I love a challenge, or, I was hoping this would be informative. They understood that their abilities could be developed. They had what I call a growth mindset. But other students felt it was tragic, catastrophic. From their more fixed mindset perspective, their intelligence had been up for judgment and they failed. Instead of luxuriating in the power of yet, they were gripped in the tyranny of now. So, what do they do next? I'll tell you what they do next. In one study, they told us they would probably cheat the next time instead of studying more if they failed a test. In another study, after a failure, they looked for someone who did worse than they did so they could feel really good about themselves. And in study after study, they have run from difficulty. Scientists measured the electrical activity from the brain as students confronted an error. On the left, you see the fixed mindset students. There's hardly any activity. They run from the error. They don't engage with it. But on the right, you have the students with the growth mindset, the idea that abilities can be developed. They engage deeply. Their brain is on fire with yet. They engage deeply. They process the error. They learn from it and they correct it.
Okay, so after that video, I did summarize what we've gone over this week about mindsets. We have positive and negative thinking, right? Which contributes to our perspective on the world, our mindset, right? How we feel about ourselves, how we feel about the world. If it's a growth mindset, then we're thinking more about how we can do better and how we can try again and how we can receive a different outcome that we're looking for if we keep at it. So when you think about that negative thinking and you think about these kind of patterns that we fall into and the way we see ourselves, it contributes to this growth or fixed mindset. So basically what I want you to do now is to take some time to reflect. So I'm going to leave it up to your teacher to give you your journals, to have you do a journal entry, or to have a discussion. This is whatever you feel comfortable with as a group, as a class. I encourage you to engage with this. Either write in your journal about a time that you did not succeed. Did you give up? Or did you try a second time? And what, if anything, would be you do differently? So if you didn't do it, if you feel like you didn't do or handle things in the way that you hoped you would, how would you change those things? For a discussion, if you feel like you want to just talk amongst yourselves and share it about a time that you had a growth mindset. When was a time that you persevered and you said, I'm going to try again. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep working. What was the outcome? Right? So take some time to reflect one of those two ways. And yeah, we'll see you next week.